Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you all getting on here tonight. And I hear somebody needs to be muted. I'm not sure who it is, but anyway, just thank you for joining us tonight. I'm super excited. We have a lovely, lovely guest on here tonight that's going to be sharing with us. Her name is Rita Townsend, and she has some great business experience. Major accounts manager for one of the world's largest computer companies. She was responsible for assessing technology needs, process analysis, cost analysis, design and implementation of back office systems for financial institutions with assets in excess of $200 million, coordination of software and hardware design, executive presentations and oversight from design to completion. She also became a stay-at-home mother after adopting her baby girl at age 41. And then she found out that the empty nest thing was not so much fun after her daughter left for college. But then she was introduced to LifeVantage, fell in love with LifeVantage products, and saw an immediate opportunity. She is pushing for Pro 7. She's just amazing. I have gotten to know her a little bit and have discovered that she is very diligent in her LifeVantage business and just learning the ropes, very knowledgeable, and she's a hard worker. I can see that already. So with that, Rita, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and thank you so much for joining us. She's going to share with us tonight about social media and also about our monthly playbook, how we can better utilize that. So Rita, I'm going to turn the time over to you. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you, Julie. I really appreciate the opportunity here. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Good to go?
Yes.
All righty. Yay. Step number 1, success. Thanks everybody for joining me tonight. I really appreciate the opportunity too, because this is a training that I started a few weeks ago for Gabe Pearson on a Saturday morning training. And that's when Julie first saw what you're going to see, most of what you're going to see tonight. And then I knew then, and I have known for a while, that this whole world of social media has become so much a part of our business. And I think you're sensing that. If you're not already out on social media, I can't emphasize that enough, that this is where you need to find a way to incorporate that into your business. And that's what I'm going to share tonight. You're seeing it from LifeVantage, but you're seeing it all around you. And with this current pandemic, the thing that we have really resisted the most is the thing that's bringing us together more closely than ever. So I think it's really important. I would just encourage you, if you're not using social media, and even if you are, really learn the techniques and the philosophy behind it and the right way to use it, and start wrapping it into your LifeVantage business. And that's really where I'm going to go with this tonight. We're all working globally. LifeVantage is a global company, and that's where we need to be also. So in order to do that, you need these tools. You need these tools to be able to reach out to your group, to your customers, to your prospects, and you need to be able to translate them easily to a global business. And oftentimes when I am talking with people, and I have people in other countries, I know people on the call tonight do also, but when you do that, you can actually put them on our distributor Facebook in almost every country that we're doing business in now. So it's a very powerful tool if you even can use it internationally. So first, I'm going to do 2 things tonight. I'm going to give you some tips. These are kind of basic. But then I'm going to take you from the tips and the philosophy of social media, and I'm going to take you into how to incorporate your monthly playbook from LifeVantage. And we're going to dissect that a little bit. I'll give you a few examples, and hopefully they'll get you excited to use it. And then if you have questions, we'll talk about that in the beginning and the end. So very quickly, what is attraction marketing? It's just very simply the way that you want to attract people to you. There was a fantastic training on Saturday. I hope you're all getting on the mastermind training on Saturday mornings. Every week, we have leaders sharing how they've turned their business into massive outreach using social media. This last Saturday, there was a great presentation, really starting with some basics. And if you missed that mastermind training on Saturday, I really encourage you to go back and take a look at that, because that really is the basic philosophy of where to start with it. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit tonight. So attraction marketing, I love this definition because this is who we are. The process of drawing interest to a company, a product, or service using carefully devised techniques. The goal is to attract potential customers to the way the item has bettered the seller's own life. And I know you hear that in our messaging from LifeVantage. We have amazing products, we have amazing opportunity to share, but we have to learn ways to differentiate ourselves. And I want to stop right here and say, this does not replace phone calls, coffee shop meetings, home meetings. I'm a firm believer that there is a connection there, especially with a new distributor. If it's in your market, if it's in the driving area, and if it's big enough, if you even need to fly there, these home meetings are really still a basic launch. Now, in this age of pandemic, we're having to do that on Zoom, but there's a connection there that you still need to have. And the first two steps in learning your LifeVantage business are learning to tell your story and learning how to database. And that is a perfect fit with social media. You're going to do those main activities, but you're going to do those along with how you can use social media. A couple of weeks ago on the mastermind training, there was one of our new Pro 7s who said she had done 100% of her business on social media. Now she had a following and she had some branding, but to be able to translate that into a new business opportunity really shows you the power of it. I'm just going to briefly tell you how I got started with it. I knew nothing. Forget my bio, that was 20 years ago, and things have changed a lot. I had to relearn all the same things that a lot of you are having to relearn. I started out by understanding that I needed to do it and pushing myself to do it. I started out by just following a few people. I didn't pay. I watched people. I read some books, and I did all the free things that I could do. I got to the point where I knew I needed to pay, and so I looked for the right people to train with. And I just need to give you a word of warning. If you're already out on social media, you know everybody's a coach, everybody's a trainer. Look for somebody who is successful in network marketing, and look for somebody who is successful in their coaching and their training business, and you'll recognize those names, and find somebody that you're a good fit with. Remember that it's just like learning your LifeVantage business or any other career that you've had. It's going to require some time. You can't say, how long is this going to take me every day? Because once you learn the tools and the techniques and get to where you can even maybe learn to use apps and curate your posts, you can really speed the process up, because you want to process that side of the business quickly. The side that you want to focus on and be able to spend the time on is the connection and the relationship and the messaging. Those things are where you want to spend the bulk of your time on, just as though you would get in your car and drive to a meeting. You want the other side of your business to be the connection that you're fostering. Don't be afraid of Google. I love Google. If I can't figure out how to do something on a screen, you can always Google that, costs nothing. You might want to invest in something at some point in time. So what I want to do before we jump into the playbook is encourage you. LifeVantage is giving us all this training. They're giving us this training at Elite Academies, and I hope we're all on schedule for Las Vegas. But they're also giving it on these Saturday trainings. Every Saturday, there's a product component, usually a social media component. and then of course leadership training. But the people who are sharing about social media are really good. Last Saturday was one training, a little bit more basic. Next Saturday, I think they're going to dive into a little bit more. They might even be touching on some of the things that I'm touching on tonight. But remember, if you can combine the two together, which we did not have, this was just launched in March, you can really start to progress quickly on how to use these tools. So I think this monthly marketing playbook is a huge selling tool. When you can tell someone you have 2 free websites, one is your customer site and one is your back office site. You have a free mobile app, and we give you free social media assets every single month. They're changed up monthly, they're changed up weekly. We give you that inside your website for free. I just think that's a huge opportunity, especially now when I know you're seeing it. More and more people are coming into our business using social media, and most of us wanting to get better at it. So I'm going to walk you through the components of the monthly playbook, and as I go, I want you to think about using this as your planning tool and as your social media tool. Now, I flashed to the last section because your social media calendar can actually map out your activity for the week, for the month, if you want to use a tool like this, which I would advise if you're new, because you may be struggling for content, you may be struggling for themes. Speaking of theme, I hope you have one. As you're branding yourself, you need to make sure that you're multi-dimensional, not one-dimensional. And I say that with all love. If you're posting one kind of post all the time, that is your persona, and that is who you will be perceived to only be. But more than that, when the content is just always what's expected, it's going to have a lot of people scrolling through. And remember, your goal is to attract people and to connect with people and learn what they're looking for so that you can share it. So if you use this social media calendar, there's really 2 components to it. The first one basically is podcast. We'll talk about that in a little later. But the second part of the social media calendar, I love what LifeVantage is doing here. Our presentations, our content, our blogs have really been tweaked to reach people about what's going on in the world today. And they did this very quick. Remember, this was only launched in March. We're only into this pandemic officially for a couple of, well, for some of us, it's been a little longer than others. But you can look at, and I'm just showing you part of the calendar. Couldn't get it all on my screen. And I'm showing you slides. I'm not showing you my office. So forgive me, I'm not digging in. I want you to see the components and learn how to apply the components to use inside your own social media. So this part of the calendar, if you're just like in a fog, you need a theme, you want something for your curiosity post or your lifestyle post or your motivational post, these are some great little tools that you can use. And because you have a playbook from LifeVantage, that does not mean that that has changed Facebook algorithms. It doesn't mean it's changed anything about Facebook philosophy. It simply means that you have some tools from LifeVantage that are compliant, that are beautiful, that are well done, that are relevant. So this is a rule of thumb for those of you who are just getting started. It's an 80-20 rule. About 80% of your posts should be value added, lifestyle sharing, motivational, photos, things that are completely related to who you are and what you do and what you're really passionate about outside of your business. The other 20% can be business related without branding of any product and of any company. That's because you want people to relate to you. You don't want people to relate to selling. So when you get these beautiful social media posts, You still need to understand the right way to use them. And I'm giving you my philosophy and my tools and how I'm adapting to using it. So if you have a different method, that's fine. If you have questions about any of these social media platforms, all of them have free help centers. You can go to Facebook Help Center. You can go to Instagram, wherever. If you want to find out peak days for posting, if you want to find out peak times for posting, all of those things are available in those help centers, which free. I said I love free. Okay, so let's look at the section called Product of the Month. So this month is Physique and ProBio. So great little tips on this page on how to use what's going to be shown as far as your social media assets for physique and prebiotic and probiotic. Now what they've done is on Saturday Mastermind, the training that Dr. Dixon is doing is on these products. So you not only have the blogs, the podcasts, and beautiful posts, and I am going to give you some examples of how I've used them. You have the information from our chief science officer. So it's a beautiful package all together, and you can design how you want to use that. You have information, you have posts to generate the interest, and then you have the pure science that you can forward to the people that really, really need to see just the hardcore science. So the next section is at-home training and opportunity sessions. That's exactly what it says it is. There's downloaded recordings from these Saturday Mastermind training. Now, I do know that the plan is on the Saturday Mastermind training is to separate out the presenters and the topics so that if you have a particular person that you want to send something to, if it's a science or if it's a training or if it's a business builder, whatever, all of those things very soon are going to be separated out. So let me go back here. Okay, so the downloaded recordings, these are primarily the Tuesday night recordings that are very, very heavy on business. So those are great to send out. So you have two sets of different kinds of material to use in ways that can be modeled and applied in the way you want to use them. So blogs. Now, I've been using the LifeVantage blogs for a really long time before they ever got out to the monthly playbook, because they're relevant topics. They're not necessarily product topics. They're life things. Like, I love this, the way they really adjusted to this pandemic. How to take your workout into social media. Another one down, a little further down, is how to stretch the shelf life of your veggies, which we all know we're having challenges with cooking healthy and being healthy during this very unusual time. So beautiful banners that you can screenshot. Now, a quick note on screenshot, it's a cheater and I love it. If you screenshot something, you can use it anywhere. So it's a real quick way to have photos on your desktop, on your phone, everywhere. So I love screenshots. And they're just very easy to share on a lot of different platforms. I have a business page, I have a customer page, I have a team page, and I have a personal Facebook page. And I am always looking for ways to cross post. So these are things that you can use on a customer page. So think about where these assets can be used to really save you a lot of time. They're well done. We know they're compliant, and they have given you content. So let's look at the next section. This is podcasts and Facebook Lives. Now, podcasts, the same thing. This is an interview, usually with Dr. Dixon. There was a great one in here about a week ago. I don't think it's posted yet, with Jesse Allen, who is the author and the co-conspirator for this playbook. Brilliant. And Grace Lynn, I think, is his co-worker. I hope you appreciate the amount of work and the volume of effort that goes into something like this that's laid out for you. So the podcasts are great. That would be a great thing to put on a customer page if you have a customer page, because it's really very specific content. The Facebook Lives, you can start a Facebook Live, put it on your personal page and go with it. The watch parties, I don't know if, how many of you were in Cancun. It was insane. We did a watch party from the stage, and I don't even know the last count of how many thousands of people it went out to, because it's you and all of your people on your page and all of your other people's people on their page. So it can be a really strong tool. So the speakers that Darren Jensen has been interviewing are really, really great. They do other things like understanding the power of digital media, understanding relationships. They're really great general informational things that you can tie into. So I love the content. Can't say enough about the content. So this section is called Social Media Assets. This is, think about this as kind of your curated library. You're going to have everything in it that we just talked about. But in addition to that, you're going to find these beautiful graphics to do curiosity posts. Now, I said earlier, you can't do the product branding and LifeVantage branding and all of that. So what do? Now, most people will tell you about once a week, you can do a real hardcore business post or a real hardcore product post. And those you can just simply connect and share out of this, because they will be branded. So about once a week is a good guideline to do that. So in the meantime, what are you doing with these other very selective posts that you're doing? Well, you're doing primarily a curiosity post on that 20% we talked about. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how I use this. Now, I've been doing this before the Playbook, but it was a lot harder to pick and post and cut and paste and poke around to get the right information. But here's some things that you can think about doing. In this last section, there's a media library of things. So here's a good one. We know that this month is the pre-bio and pro-bio month. So this is colorful, it's eye-catching, and it's just inviting. So how often can you feel the effects of what you eat? Well, that could lead you in a number of different directions, but here's what I did. I read about the product and I thought, oh my goodness, it's about weight management. It's not just digestive health. It's about sending a message to your gut that you're full. Does anybody know anybody that isn't concerned about weight? Especially now, I think I did this last week. So I saw that word weight and I thought, oh, weight. So my little intro was an attention getter. And then I went where I wanted to go, which is simply cut and paste from the product information directly out of your virtual office. So I tagged it up and put my little emojis and all that on there, but I targeted it to an audience that I think I have, which are women who want to be healthy, who constantly exercise, and who are constantly dieting. So there you go. That's a suggestion. And one more that I'm going to show you. And then I've kind of covered most of what I want to cover, Julie. Okay, so do your foods actually do what you think they're doing? So you know what? That could be any number of things. You could take that into something outside of LifeVantage. You could talk about nutrition, which we have great blogs and YouTubes on nutrition. They're everywhere if you wanted to do that. Here's the trick. If you want to put a specific LifeVantage brand, do it in the comments section. Do not do it on your post. Do your post and then come down to your comments section and you can put that link in there. I have a business page, so I have a little bit more freedom on what I can do in these posts. It's still an 80-20 rule, incidentally, but I can put a LifeVantage product tag or link in there because they know that's really what it's mostly all about. But you can take this any number of ways. Let me go back here. So if you wanted to take it into nutrition, if you wanted to take it into the pre-bio or the pro-bio, you can do any of that. Or maybe you have something that you specifically want to share, and you can do that with these beautiful posts that are in this last section in your monthly playbook. So Julie, I think I'm kind of getting down to where we talked about, but I want to finish up with a couple of quick things here. As I mentioned earlier, I've just kind of learned a lot on my own. And now we see all these amazing tools coming from LifeVantage, and they're adapting so quickly, and they're free. And your time is worth a lot more than that. The philosophy inside attraction marketing and the messaging that you really want to spend your time on is meeting those people on social media, finding out who they are and what they are interested in, and spending your time on the private side and not so much on the public side. I also would recommend getting into groups. A couple of little quick guidelines. If you search groups inside Facebook, you're going to find out right away what they're all about. Read the rules. If they don't allow you anything about your business or your product, that's probably questionable. Also, always look at the number of members that they have. If they've got 40 people or if they got 40,000, I mean, there's just a fit that will be something that will work for you. So find that out. A lot of people have hobbies and pets and things like that that can be a good connection if you learn how to share your information outside of what they allow in their public posting domain. So take that into a private conversation, even if you're doing something with a group. So I'm going to share one last slide with you that I did in my group, a group that I've been a part of. Okay, so not to mention a free monthly playbook and free websites and free apps. Now we have a free enrollment kit. It's an incentive, but it's a great incentive right now, as long as you understand the right way to share it. It's a business starter. It doesn't mean that it's free and you never do anything. It's a business starter. So use it that way. So I'm on a page, actually I'm on a group that is all about women, and it's all about entrepreneurship. And so people are posting all the time asking for information. Sometimes my business and what I do has nothing to do with what they're looking for, but lately it's had a lot to do with what they're looking for. So I took exactly, and I can't say enough about this, use what LifeVantage is giving you, because you will always be compliant. I simply took the, it's everywhere. It's on your homepage. It's on our homepage. It's on the distributor Facebook page. It's everywhere. I simply took that, and I have a couple of apps that I use. I use Canva. I use an app on my phone called Over, and another app on my phone called WordSwag, which are very easy to do. You can use those with pictures all day long very quickly, but Canva is a good one. You can always steal from Pinterest and Google. Google has photos. So I took exactly what was on LifeVantage and I added some information about how to contact me, and I posted that in a group page. In one weekend, I had 25 people that wanted more information. So I'm just telling you, with the right fit and the right technique, I think you can do, you can add to your activity. You can expand your reach and you connect to more people, especially now, because I don't know about you, but even with me and my family, we have to talk by Zoom. We can't even get together. So I hope that you've gotten some good information and some value out of my sharing tonight. And as I said, I started very basically learning on my own and trying to learn the right way. And now we have this amazing opportunity to use it free inside of LifeVantage. So Julie, it's all yours.
Wow, Rita, that was awesome. So much great information. I really appreciate you taking the time out to go over this monthly playbook, because I know that we all need to get more experienced with that. So that was really incredible, Rita. So you have a couple minutes for some questions?
I do. I certainly do. Let me get my screen off and see if we can get you on. There you go.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, I have one question here that somebody's asking. They're saying, Rita, you said you have 4 pages: a business page, a team page, a customer page, and what was the 4th one?
My personal page.
Okay, personal page. All right, there we go. That was one question. Okay, everyone, if you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question to Rita. Rita, I have a question for you. You know, one of the things that I've been told as I've been, learning a little bit about how to utilize Facebook and social media is that you're supposed to add friends to your friend list every day, add new friends, like, some people say like 5 new friends a day, something like that. Do you recommend that? And then if you do, one of the things that I found is like I have all these friends now, and it's kind of overwhelming. So do you have any advice on that?
Well, I tell you, a couple of things that I do. You're going to always have some social friends, and you need that because your social friends will lead you to their friends. So it's a little bit of a balance, because when you just friend someone who just is really a friend, that's always good. That's always fun. It generates activities, and you really do need to do that. When I add other people, that Facebook is sort of this anomaly. It can connect you with somebody that they think you ought to be a friend with. The first thing I always do when they do that is that I go on that person's page first, and I find out a little bit about them just simply from their own personal page. And if I feel like that's a good fit for me and I'm comfortable with it, I will friend them and see how it goes. But honestly, it doesn't take very many conversations to figure out if this is a good fit for you or a good fit for them, because it works two ways. Facebook is putting you out there as a potential contact for someone else also. Some days it's a lot, and some days it's not. So I think that there are some goals that kind of Facebook talks about. I know YouTube talks about, and Instagram talks about reaching these levels, and that kind of puts you out there as an influencer. But a good guideline is daily activity. There are guidelines on things that you should be doing daily, and that's one of them. You should post an average of twice daily. If you get way up in your numbers, you can probably do 3 on some days, but you need to be doing daily activity. My first job every morning is to get on, go to work, but part of that is as social media activity.
Okay, thank you. Great. Let's see, we have a couple more questions. After the initial response to your post, what do you share?
I ask a question. That's when you have a piece of information that you can take into a private conversation. If it's a friend, you might know even more. If it's a new friend, you probably don't know much of anything. Or you might say, oh, I see that you teach yoga. Are you doing virtual yoga now because of the pandemic? Is this something that might fit with what you're doing? Or how are you doing? I mean, craft a question first. If you are all about the I, which is the me, you just set up a different conversation, and that's not my opinion. That's just, you'll hear that everywhere. But ask a question and see if you can take that into a deeper conversation. And most of the time, people will offer a lot.
Great. Okay. What are the apps in addition to Canva? And someone else is saying Canva over, OVER, and WordSwag.
Yes, Canva is great. They've got some really great tools. It's free always. When you sign up for these apps, unless you're going to get real fancy, sign up for the free app for as long as you possibly can. I'm still free on Canva. Canva does Facebook posts, Facebook covers, invitations, invites, media invites, a giant catalog of templates that you can modify. You can even create your PowerPoint or your keynote slides using Canva. So Canva's great. Canva is a little harder to work with on your phone. That's why I use more over. and I use the word swag on the phone because they're very, very easy. And then another suggestion is if you have, if you really, really want some creative visuals, I use another free app called Unsplash. Hi, Chris. The Unsplash is great. And you have to do a little workaround because a lot of them will have a fee. Now, if there's something in Canva that I just can't live without, it's $1 and I'll use it. But most of the time, the free ones are great, and you can do screenshots and you can send those screenshot everywhere. Screenshot is just the magic.
Awesome. Yeah, I personally use Canva, and I love Unsplash because they have phenomenal pictures that
Beautiful.
are totally free, and you don't have to worry about any copyright.
Exactly,
Like that.
exactly,
So, yeah.
exactly. There's some other ones that are paid, but I find there are so many resources now, and combine that with what, like the graphics in LifeVantage are just beautiful.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. Okay, do we have any other questions?
Yeah.
All right, I think that we've answered all the questions, and so appreciate you, Rita. This was a tremendous training that you did for us tonight, and we're just honored to have you on here. It's been great just to get to know you, and look forward to seeing you sometime at an event.
Well, hopefully Las Vegas is still on the calendar.
Yes, I hope so too. Mark and Krista, did you have any comments or anything you wanted to share?
Wow, that was awesome, Rita. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for allowing my team to tag along.
Oh, we love it. And I'm just thinking about the fact that because this is recorded, we can go back, right?
Absolutely.
And watch this again.
Absolutely.
We'll put it on our team page to make it available.
Absolutely, because especially if you have people that are new to social media,
Yes.
Not only are they new to social media, but they see this monthly playbook and they go, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do?
Right.
So to wrap it all together, share it, share it, share it.
So I think to encourage everyone, social media it's almost like learning a new language. And network marketing is like learning a new language, right? But social media is as well. And the only way that you really learn something and it stays in your long-term memory is by repeating it again and again and again. And so I think it's so great that we have this, because I need to go back and watch it again, like pull up my playbook and sort of see how to do things and manipulate it a little bit with her training. So thank you, Rita, for coming on and sharing so much detailed information.
Yeah, and I'll say this as well, especially for the new folks that are just dipping their toe in the water here. Our team already has 3 pages. We have a science page for product. We have a prospecting page for business and product, sort of a combo hybrid. And then we have a team distributor page. So don't feel like you've got to run out and manufacture 3 different Facebook groups just to get going. You don't. We already have a platform for you to do that until you're comfortable doing that for yourself. So don't get freaked out over this thing. If you want to start playing with some of these images and messages, feel free to use the Team Lifetree resource pages to do that. That's what they're there for.
Absolutely.
And so you absolutely can leverage those and then drive your prospects through Facebook Messenger offline, right?
The more that you can offer a new distributor in terms of tools that they can use without developing on their own, that is just a great way to give them the access and encourage them and get over that learning hump, because it's Krista, it's like it's a new ball game, and it's a changing ball game.
It is.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rita. So our message is, don't freak out. Don't let this new information just paralyze you. That's not the point. These are simply a whole new library, a whole new warehouse of tools that, as we become familiar with them, that's going to lead us, our businesses, into the next decade and beyond. So just like you learned the language, just like you learned to walk, we're just going to do this a little bit at a time. There's some great training available. As Krista said, we're recording this. There's great Playbook Mastery Training Shauna Mucklow just recorded a video 3 weeks ago that's outstanding. Our Success Mastery trainings on Saturday are designed to do just this, but I want to give a special shout out to Julie White and to Colonel Jerry Whistler,
Yeah.
without whom we would be in the dark ages on this stuff. So
our
thank
Facebook
you.
pages,
Yeah, on these
they
Facebook
make
pages,
these things happen.
these guys
It's
have been
incredible.
a godsend for not just us, but our whole wider team, and
Yeah.
as a blessing to LifeVantage as well. So Rita, we love you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You are welcome.
We're
That's
over.
what we do. We all share.
Thank you, Rita. And of course, thank you, Julie, for leading it. That was great, Julie. Rita was a blessing. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, she's definitely a huge blessing, and people are asking about the recording. So, Rita, I will send you a link that you can send out to your
Great.
team as
Great.
well.
That's super, Julie. Thank you very much.
Sure thing. And I just wanted to remind people of two things before we go here. One is tomorrow, there's two big things happening. One is that Marina Wari is going to be on a call, and that is on Skip Campbell's page. You should have received an email or a text message from him with that information. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then tomorrow night, LifeVantage every Tuesday night is hosting an opportunity webinar, and that's at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then, as Rita mentioned, don't forget about the free start kit. It's a great way to open a conversation with people and even go to your personal customers, and maybe they'd be interested in upgrading. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Every Monday night, same time, same Zoom. And we'll see you again next week. Blessings, and we love you all.
Thank you, Julie.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye. Thanks again, Rita. We love you.
Rita. Awesome.
Bye.